Next one I brought down from the in-laws with this Case VC. It's around 1950-ish, I guess, like the rest of them. This one was a non-runner. We winched it up onto the trailer, hauled it down here. Deb and me pushed it off into the garage. I'm trying to figure out what it needs to get going. I threw a battery in it today and started winding it over, and it kind of went to one spot and went clunk and stopped. So I turned it back the other way, and it stopped basically on the other side of the same spot. So we know it's a bunch of crap in the top of the cylinder, basically all rusty, stopping the piston from going up there. So what I've done was I also wanted to see if it had any stuck valves, because that's usually when these things sit. There'll be a valve open and the moisture will get in that cylinder, and it'll usually stick the valve open and stick the piston. So what do we find in number 4 here? You can see there the valve is 1/2 inch away from the cam follower. That valve is stuck. I tried jiggling it back and forth a little bit. It's having none of it. So I'm going to have to take the cylinder head off so I can get that valve freed up and have a look at the bore, see how bad it is, to determine what our next move will be. We may just pull the plug on it. It's not exactly a beautiful tractor. She's pretty banged up. The wheels and tires are pretty rough. So depending on what I see when I take the head off, I may just kind of stick it back together and we'll sell it off as a non-running parts unit or lawn art or something like that. Anyway, I'm going to take the hood off now, and I'll get the head off and we'll see what's inside there. Alright, cylinder head's off. You can see here our stuck valve, and I'm pretty certain I found the problem why it wasn't turning. This great big hunk of carbon has come off from somewhere, and it's gotten over here and just literally gotten stuck, like mechanically stopping the piston when it comes up to the top. You can see here, right there in the combustion chamber where it was hitting. So that's a new one on me. I'm going to see now if it'll turn. That's pretty good. She's free as a bird. It turned just fine. So I'm going to go ahead right now and just vacuum and clean up all this crap and chunks of carbon. And then we're going to get the valve freed up. And then we're going to see where we go from there. So we got the deck of the block all cleaned up, ready to go back together. I power washed this all up, and it's ready to go back on, and I'm going to show you guys an old mechanic's trick for no new parts rebuild if you're stuck and you haven't got another head gasket, especially on a low compression little flathead like this. I've gotten away with this many times. So here's the old mechanic's trick. You get your old head gasket, give it a nice coat of silver spray paint, and there's enough ground up aluminum they use as pigment in this stuff that it kind of renews the surface of the head gasket, and you'll be able to torque this baby down and it'll seal. I've done it like a lot of times and I usually get away with it. So hopefully we'll get away with it on this. Alrighty, I got the valves lashed. That was pretty easy to do. They're all set on this one to 14 thousandths. Sometimes the exhausts are a little looser than the intake, but this one they wanted 14 on all of them. So that's what we set them to. I'm going to go ahead and put the cover back on. Then we'll put the head on. Okay, so the paint's dry on the cylinder head gasket. I'm going to go ahead now and put the head on. I've gone and just put a light coat of engine oil on here. It just helps a little bit. It helps the gasket squish down, and it keeps it from sticking if, heaven forbid, we have to take it back off, because once that silver paint gets torqued down onto this engine block, it's not coming off. It'll be like cement. So the engine oil helps to keep it from sticking. So we should be okay. I'm going to put the head on now. I oiled up the head bolts nicely so they'll turn down nicely and torque evenly. The book says 60 foot-pounds. So that's what we'll torque them up to. I'm just going to run them down easy with my little battery gun, and then we'll get the torque wrench out. Okay, gonna put the manifold back on now. I painted what's left of the gasket with anti-seize, so if we have to take it off again, we can get it off. This may end up with a little bit of a vacuum leak because maybe not the best idea to reuse these, but I have nothing here, so this is what we're gonna do for now. And if it doesn't work out, I can just buy another gasket and swap it. It's quite easy to get the manifold off of this thing. So we got the little case running again. I got the throttle linkage all fixed up. That was quite interesting. We had no picture, no nothing to go by, so we just kind of made it up as we went, and it all seems to work. It's great. The thing runs super. We're gonna just button up a few more things. We're gonna get it outside and clean it up and drive it around a bit and see how she handles. Oh, before I do that, we also have to make an air intake pipe for it because it can't be running around like that with the air system open. Another piece of the puzzle. We used a piece of 1.5 inch exhaust pipe and a couple of old radiator hoses, and we made an air intake pipe for this thing. Next thing we got to do, we're going to put the hood back on, and then I got to rifle through my stuff and see if I can find a cup for the oil bath air cleaner. If not, I'm going to have to maybe hit the local tractor wreckers or scrounge around on eBay and such. There's got to be one out there somewhere.